If you are thinking about getting a US bank credit card, or you already have a US bank credit card and you're thinking about maybe raising your limits, or you're thinking about just having a better credit card, here's a video that I want you to really listen to, okay? And to watch also. So here are the steps, the specific steps I want you to follow. First, you want to establish a relationship with US Bank, or you want to beef up your relationship with US Bank. This is important. I mean, when we talk about having a relationship with a bank in general, we like to use the term MPR. So MPR stands for multi-product relationship. That means what? See, when you think about US Bank, for example, you have a constellation of checking accounts. For example, they have what they call the smart checking. They have student checking. They have several checking accounts. They do have like you are able to open a savings account also. By the way, when we talk about checking accounts and we talk about student accounts, US Bank has the uniqueness of having what they call a a network of campus branches. So they have they call it campus banking, and they have a lot of branches on US universities at US universities. You know, anywhere from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas to Cal State University in Fullerton. They have Oregon State University and whatnot. What I'm trying to say here is that you do have a constellation of options when it comes to check-ins. They even have military checking accounts. Okay, they have savings accounts. So they have when we're talking about standard savings account, they have a retirement money market account. They have CDs. They have an elite money market savings account. They have certificate of deposits. So they have what they call step up CD, trade up CD, CD specials, standard CDs. They have a retirement money market savings account. So what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say here is that with a US bank, you have a lot of choices. So avail yourself of those choices. So at a minimum, if you want to actually have a higher credit card limit with the US bank, it doesn't matter the card that you choose, whether you choose the US Bank Cash Plus, the Altitude Go, the Visa Platinum, the Altitude Connect Visa, whatever, it doesn't really matter. If you want to have a higher credit limit, you need to have at least two accounts with US Bank. Two accounts, one checking account and one savings account. This is really important. And ideally, you want to have a direct deposit flowing into your US Bank checking accounts. Step number two, I want you to beef up your credit right now. By the way, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. And so when we think about US Bank, we're thinking about a very excellent financial institution. Okay, excellent. And when you think about beefing up your credit, what I want you to do here is that you need to actually know what you are currently at. Where are you at in terms of credit? Do you have bad credit? Do you have average credit? Do you have good credit? Do you have excellent credit? It doesn't really matter whether you have bad credit or average credit. You know why? Because US Bank will work with you as long as you have established already a strong relationship with them. Ideally, of course, you want to have a good credit or excellent credit, but you want to start from where you are currently are at. Okay, and the cool thing is that US Bank, through their credit card statements, they share with you your credit score, so you have an idea of where you stand on the FICO spectrum, right? And what you want to do here is that you also want to make sure, if you don't have access to that data, you can also access your FICO score through annualcreditreport.com. So this is a platform that allows you to check your credit report once a year, and a credit score for that matter, or anytime you get denied for a loan or whatnot. And you also have Credit Karma. You have Nerd Wallet. You have Wallet Hub. So again, you have a large catalog of free FICO score providers. Okay, I want to insist on the free part of things. Don't you ever pay a service to check your credit score? No, this must be free. And what you want to do here is that you want to actually check your credit score, let's say every month. Okay, people tell you, well, check it every year, once a year. No, we say you want to check your credit score as often as possible. And if it's important for you, if you want to get a higher limit credit card from US Bank, check your credit score like every month or every 2 weeks. Okay, and while you are at it, try to improve your credit, because once you have the info, try to make payments on time, payments on your US Bank credit products. So if you currently have other credit cards from US Bank, you want to maintain a routine of paying those credit products on time. And you also want to keep balances low on existing credit cards and lines of credit. So this actually is called your credit utilization ratio. You want to keep it as low as possible, and you want to avoid new debts. Okay, this is important. The third thing I want you to really think about is that if you want to actually get a higher limit US Bank credit card, you want to prepare for questions you will be asked. By the way, I want to quickly remind you to this topic. We're having a short convo about US Bank credit card strategy. And so what are the things you need to have in place? What are the things you need to think about so that you get approved all the time? And so the questions you will be asked, remember, if you want to apply for a US Bank credit card, there are some questions they will ask you either at the branch or over the phone, okay, or even on the application form, okay, if you apply online. And it's better that you have a clear idea, that you prepare, that you have thought about those questions, and you have thought about, most importantly, the answers you need to give, okay? And the thing is that they'll ask you about your income. For example, they'll ask you about your income, and they'll ask about whether you have a full-time job or part-time job. Like income and employment go hand in hand, right? So don't actually, US Bank is really flexible when it comes to considering all sources of income. So don't think like, if I don't have a full-time job, I will never qualify for a US Bank credit card. Or if I don't have a full-time job, they'll never raise my credit limits. No, US Bank looks at your income and all sources of income. Are you driving for Uber? Do you have side gigs? Are you doing do you have an online account at Fiverr or whatever? So the thing is that because the US Bank will look at your 1099, they'll also look at your W-2s. As a matter of fact, they pay attention more to your most recent bank statements, to your most recent tax returns to see what kind of employment situation you're currently in. So this is very important. So they pay attention to your employment. They pay attention to your income. They pay attention to your debt to income ratio, because this helps determine your ability to make payments. Okay, so it's important. So by the way, you can improve this ratio by either increasing income or decreasing debt. And US Bank will be also asking you about your partner, if you are your spouse or partner. So if you are married, if you're in a relationship, US Bank is interested to see whether or not you have like you want to add your partner's income as part of the application process. This could help you actually get approved real fast. Yeah. Okay. The next thing I want you to do here is to apply strategically. So you're probably thinking, listen, I want to apply for a US Bank credit card. I want a high limit and I want a fast approval. Okay. You've already said the three things that really matter to you. Okay. So what do I mean by applying strategically? Well, you got to first ask yourself, where am I currently at? What is my credit score? What is my employment situation? Right? Those are really important. Those will determine whether or not you can actually qualify for a credit card and which credit card you might get. So it's important now. So for example, if you have bad credit, you might not have the best US Bank credit cards. As a matter of fact, you might maybe just qualify for the US Bank secure credit card. Okay, secure Visa. If you have fair credit, you have more chances to qualify for other cards. But the cool thing here is that you always want to ask yourself, can I pre-qualify for a US Bank credit card? Yes. The answer is yes. You can pre-qualify for, but the thing is, US Bank does have the page internally. So you have to be an existing US Bank customer. This is why, going back to what I said at the beginning of this show, the importance of having an MPR, right? So you really want to have that. So you can pre-qualify, and you want to pre-qualify for a US Bank credit card so that you are basically, protecting, you're safeguarding your FICO score. And one thing I also want to say here is that you also want to think about whether or not you can actually wait. You can actually wait for offers. Because sometimes instead of pre-qualifying, instead of doing things yourself, you can just wait and have a US Bank reach out to you with offers. Or maybe they're offering cash rewards. They're having perks. They're having miles points and whatnot. So sometimes it's just a lot better to wait and wait for US Bank, just to make a move. Okay. And one thing I also want to say here is that don't forget to update your income information on your US Bank dashboard. Go to your US Bank dashboard right now, and I want you to put right like your current income. Maybe you actually applied for a loan or a line of credit or credit card 5 years ago, and you had income back then. But that income, hopefully, and I pray that for you, it has gone up in the meantime. So if it has gone up and you want to update your information, one thing I want to say here is that I don't want you to give up. Okay. By the way, I want to quickly remind you to this topic. We're still having a conversation about US Bank credit card, and I'm just giving you a strategy for the average cardholder how to actually apply real fast and be approved, right? So don't give up, because the thing here is that do not actually believe that because you are denied for a business line of credit or a business credit card or business loan from US Bank that things are really bad. No. Usually, US Bank will send you a letter, a denial letter, explaining to you why you are denied. They will explain to you the reason why. They will explain to you what you might do. Remember that you always have access to a credit card reconsideration line. You can contact that reconsideration line and ask them to quote unquote reconsider by providing new data, for example, or by explaining what the initial data was all about. Okay. And it's really important to understand that before you call, you need to have a plan. You need to answer the questions that they actually asked, the points they have raised in their letter, right? If you have, let's say you have some blemishes on your credit history, take care of them first. Take care of them. Okay. Now let me give you a bonus here. It's important when we talk about US Bank credit cards, it's important that you understand US Bank rewards and especially how they work. So US Bank rewards vary by card, but fall into two main categories. So they have travel and they have cashback. So the thing is that redemption starts between 1,000 and 5,000 points, depending on the redemption option. And points can be used for cashback, for example, travel, merchandise, gift cards. So you do have a large constellation of US Bank cards that you can actually get. And you have also a lot of redemption options. It's really important to understand that you want to go for the card that actually allows you to maximize your rewards redemption process. Okay, this is what it is. This is how you actually build a good history with US Bank in the long run. And one thing I also want to say here is that don't choose a card simply because of your credit score. No, you want to choose a card that aligns with your interest, with your lifestyle, because you are going to use the card to fit your lifestyle, not to fit your credit score. So please be careful on that aspect of things. Now let me give you the approach I want you to follow if you are thinking about having a proper US Bank credit card strategy. I mean, how do you choose the right card for you? You need to understand that US Bank has a constellation of credit cards, okay? And I want to go through a few of them with you. If you remember earlier, I was just telling you that US Bank rewards vary by cards, but they fall into two main categories. And what were those categories? Travel and cashback. So I want you to maybe think about the US Bank Cash Plus Visa Signature. So this card is actually great if you are looking for a cashback credit card from US Bank. Okay, and this card will literally spoil you with cashback. So you will start off with $200 rewards bonus after spending $1,000 on eligible purchases during the first 120 days from account opening. But what really makes this card interesting is that unlike many credit card issuers, you get to choose your own bonus categories. You could earn 5% cashback on up to $2,000 spent, then 1% in combined purchases in two categories that you might choose and activate each quarter. So available categories include TV, internet, and streaming services, home utilities, select clothing stores, cell phone providers, electronics stores, fast food, department stores. Plus, you will get 2% cashback on purchases spent on one everyday category of your choice. This can be restaurants, grocery stores, or gas stations. Then you will get 1%. Okay. So then you also have the US Bank Altitude Go Visa Signature. So this is great for everyday spending because of this. Actually, you will earn a nice 20,000 bonus points worth $200 after spending $1,000 during the first 90 days after account opening. Plus, you will get rewarded for common purchases. So 4 points for every dollar you spend on dining, takeout, and food delivery. 2 points per dollar on groceries, gas, EV charging stations, and streaming services, and 1 point per dollar on all other purchases. And then you also have the third one I want to share with you here. The third card, which is really great, you have is called the U.S. Bank Secured Visa. So this is the kind of card that will allow you to build credit. So if you currently have like poor credit right now and you want to really get back on track in terms of your FICO score, this is really great. The card has no annual fee but requires you to put down a deposit from $300 to $5,000 to establish your credit line and begin building your credit. And if you are approved for the card, your credit limit will match your deposit. This is really good. Another card I want to acquaint you with is the U.S. Bank Visa Platinum. So if you are looking for a low interest credit card from U.S. Bank, here is a card for you. It could be a great option for people looking to manage interest payments with no annual fee. So in terms of the feature here, you have a long 0% intro APR window, and you have so it's really great. And so you have 0% on intro APR on purchases and balance transfers for, guess what, 18 billion cycles. Think about that. 18 billion cycles, and after that you have a variable APR that's currently from 18.99 to 28.99%, and you get up to $600 on your protection on your cell phone against cover damage or theft when you pay your monthly cellular telephone bill with your U.S. Bank Visa Platinum credit card. It's really, really great. And you also have another card that we love a lot, but in the travel category. Actually, the next two cards I want to share with you, they are in the travel categories. So you have the U.S. Bank Altitude Connect Visa Signature. So this is great for travel. And so if you like to travel and you want to earn points in numerous bonus categories, this is really great for you. For example, you have 5 points for every dollar you spend on rental cars and prepaid hotels when you book through the Altitude Rewards Center. You have 4 points per dollar spent on travel, gas, and EV charging stations. You have 2 points per dollar spent on groceries, dining, and streaming services. 1 point per dollar spent on all other purchases. Okay, but the card does have a zero intro, but then a $95 first, like $95 after first year annual fee. So those are things you need to think about. Okay, but if you are a new card holder, you can actually earn 50,000 bonus points if you spend $2,000 on eligible purchases during the first 120 days after account opening. So this is really good. Okay, and the other card I want to share with you is actually the U.S. Bank Altitude Reserve Visa Infinite card. This is another card that actually, but this is best for luxury travel. Okay, so this card actually offers exclusive travel perks, bonus points on mobile wallet purchases, and other benefits. So the card's annual fee will set you back $400, but new cardholders who spend $4,500 on purchases within the first 90 days of account opening will earn 50,000 bonus points, which are worth $750 when redeemed for travel. Okay. Additionally, the card's $325 in annual credits can help counter the annual fee after you are reimbursed for eligible travel, dining, takeout, and delivery purchases. So this is really good. We love this a lot. And this card actually offers several travel perks, including access to 1,300 airport lounges with a 12-month priority pass. This is just fantastic. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I was just having a quick convo with you about the U.S. Bank, the best U.S. Bank credit card strategy for you. And so we actually spoke about you need to establish a relationship with U.S. Bank, beef up your credit, prepare for questions you'll be asked, apply strategically, and never give up. Always have a plan. And then I give you a bonus. Okay, explain to you how U.S. Bank rewards work, and I give you the approach, especially the cards that actually you might want to think about when it comes to U.S. Bank. So it's U.S. Bank Cash Plus Visa Signature, U.S. Bank Altitude Go Visa Signature, U.S. Bank Secure Visa, U.S. Bank Visa Platinum, U.S. Bank Altitude Connect Visa Signature, and the U.S. Bank Altitude Reserve Visa Infinite card. Thank you. I will speak to you another time, but until then, remember, stay marvelous.